What's going on, everybody? We are back. If you missed part one, then please go watch that in first because you're going to be pretty much lost in this commentary. What we basically talked about is how the sniping in this game is very underpowered. And again, I don't want to sound like complaining or anything like that or bitching at Treyarch. We are just trying to analyze weapon balance and just trying to give you an overall better understanding of what snipers go through on a daily basis, and not what you see in a montage, because that shouldn't be summed up into what sniping is, because that's not. It's like that's a highlight reel of months and months of playing. So I got my friend Lefty here who was helping me out. What's up, dude? So what do you think should happen with this sniper that's gonna, help us out?
Well, I mean, that was something. I mean, again, I've spent entirely too much time thinking and posting and writing about this problem, and I admit that freely. But that was a tough question for me to answer because I don't want to sound like I am calling for a return to some other form of sniping in Call of
Right.
Duty. I don't want to sound like I'm saying, "Oh, you got to bring back Modern Warfare 2 sniping," or "Oh, you got to bring back Call of Duty 4 sniping," and
Right.
or anything like that. And but what I want is best summed up as saying I would like for sniper rifles to be on par with other weapons in the game. And specifically, I'm talking about assault rifles and SMGs, because as we talked about in part one, there really is no dominant range for the sniper rifles in this game. The assault rifles and even a few submachine guns are able to operate effectively outside of their quote intended range.
Right.
And I think to balance that out, to be the yin to that yang, it would be nice if sniper rifles are able to operate a little bit, and I cannot stress that enough, able to operate outside of their quote intended range a little bit.
Right.
And as for specifics, I think all that needs to be done, really, nothing big, nothing grand, is just to remove that launch day sniping patch. If you remove the off-center scope, you will remove, thusly, the force sway that we all see upon scoping in, and if you remove the spread ADS timer, I think that will put sniping on a level that is definitely acceptable relative to other weapons in the game.
Right. I would think just that alone would make the game a lot more fun. And I've said that before, but we're not asking for much. We're just asking for what they created. I mean, they created that. It almost seemed like a last second decision of maybe a few people that were complaining inside the private beta, maybe, close friends to Treyarch, possibly. I'm just saying. But it seems like it was just kind of a quick thing. Oh man, we have to fix this before it gets out of hand, and it just seemed like a rash decision. And I just hope that they'll try to just remove it, just check it out, see how it plays out, and if something happens to where they become overpowered or the community is in a crazy ruckus or whatever, if you may, but they can always put it back or work that out. It doesn't have to be and the ending to just removing it. It's an ongoing process, and I'm very happy and satisfied with all the progress they made this far. Being here today is actually I couldn't see it whenever the game came out, because I really did think that sniping was going to be like that forever in Black Ops. Like the way it was, it took 2 seconds before you can actually fire a straight bullet, which is crazy because it takes less than half a second for somebody to come around the corner and hip fire you. It takes half a second, okay? It takes more than that to even get your scope all the way up. So it's crazy. It's so underpowered, and it's such a struggle, and it shouldn't be like that. It's a game. It's for fun.
Yeah, and just if I may correct you a little bit, I think the quote time to kill, from seeing an enemy to the enemy being dead, assuming no time to line up a shot, no damage view kick or anything like that. For the sniper rifle, at any range, it would be the minimum time would be 0.65, assuming we're not no scoping, which is luck, and as we all know,
Right.
is 0.65 seconds. And that was with the full spread ADS timer and all that, and that was significantly longer than any of the assault rifles or SMGs at long range. So what we're talking about here is if you face, let's say, an AK-74U or a player using a FAMAS at long range, let's say across array, pick your biggest sightline you have in the map array, right? From across that sightline, one guy on one end using a sniper, the other guy using, let's say, a FAMAS, the player with the FAMAS, when you hold accuracy, when you hold player skill, and all those things relatively equal, and when you hold them all constant, the FAMAS player can and will win that battle way more often than not.
Right.
And that's just based on the weapon statistics. And I don't think that really needs to happen. And really, and like I think you think, I understand what they were trying to do. Treyarch, with this launch day patch, I really do understand what they were trying to do. But my point is that there is no middle ground, or at least with the way the game has evolved, there is no middle ground between quick scoping and sniping. I think it is very, very, very difficult to mitigate one or stifle one and not severely hinder the other.
Right.
And I think we've seen that in the way the sniping patch, the original launch day sniping patch, has been received.
Yeah. I mean, there's always going to be things in this game that people are going to hate, even if they do fix it. There's still going to be people that complain about getting sniped. You can't satisfy everybody, and I think they're taking the safe way out of this, since the majority of the Call of Duty community doesn't snipe. They're not going to cater to this small community because they might get more hate in the long run. You think that's accurate?
I don't want to speak for Treyarch, or at least or even the community as a whole on that issue, but I think what they did, and this is me just being my cynical old self, I really, really think what it was is there was a quote, and I'm trying not to be dramatic about this, please understand that, it was a quote, personal vendetta on some levels. I think when you boil everything down to what was done, to how it was implemented, this move was less about balance, unless there was very little thought on this issue and it was just quick like a snap of the fingers. This move was less about balance and more about punishing and removing a practice or a tactic, whatever the cost may be. And I think that's what happened.
I do agree. It was the montage scene, and it just went to hell with all the S&D 360 blah blah blah, quick scoping this, and people screaming at you. It sucked, and it ruined the sniper experience for more Call of Duties to come. And I know Activision is probably not going to implement the same thing, and I don't think they are, and I hope they aren't. So anyway, Treyarch, if you're listening, we don't want to offend anyone. We just want to have fun. We're going to play your game anyway, even if you decide to keep it the way it is. We're going to play it. We love your game, but it could be better, and we're just trying to give you ways and give you our thoughts to make it that way.
Definitely.
So looks like we're out of time again, man, and I appreciate you coming on, and you have some your great words of wisdom. You probably
now you're just lying. Now you're just straight making stuff up.
Oh man, you crazy. All right, so we're definitely gonna do this again sometime, and everybody, Lefty's link is in the description. He's a new up and coming commentator. Go check him out, and that's it.
All right, man. Thanks for having me.
All right, man. You have a good one.
All right, I'm out.
All right,
Peace.
Peace.